What are we no longer in the golden age of? Ownership. I feel like we all just rent, borrow, stream, digital download, or straight up just consume and rebuy low-quality products. Edit. Thanks for the awards. And I'm real happy to see so many people just as PO as me at this. Streaming. There was a blissful 10 years where basically everything was on one or two platforms. Now we've more or less reinvented television with the fracturing of media platforms, but on demand, which is still an improvement, but come on, it was so nice for a while there. Someone on Reddit predicted this exact scenario when Netflix was the only service. I still think about that to this day. Comedy movies. Honestly, what's the last blockbuster comedy movie you saw in a packed theater? Journalism. God, I hope future generations figure out how to distinguish between actual real factual news and media, entertainment, outrage bait, propaganda, or else we're doomed. Gen Z here, and they actually teach this in school non-stop. We have had whole units on distinguishing media, its reliability, how to check, and where to find reliable sources. Internet for sure. Everything is way too centralized now, and the majority of internet traffic goes to small number of sites. I miss forums and personal web pages. We should bring those back. The old OG App Store games. Now we have false advertisements for the current App Store games. Edit. I didn't expect this to blow up. Thank you, stranger, for my first ever silver. Trebuchets. Sadly, the time for such exquisitely engineered siege machinery is past. The modern education system needs major revamping to suit today's generation of learning and access to information. Shopping malls, they are super dead and getting a little deader every day. Piracy. That ended around 1730. Radio. Well, video killed the radio star. Internet killed the video star. Corporations killed the internet. And at this moment hubris is killing the corporations. The middle-class worker. Wages relative to inflation have stagnated for years, and the wealth gap is growing faster than ever. Further, this wealth has been used to tilt the scale even more towards those with means, which accelerates the trend. On top of the dismantling of protections and creation of even more inequalities through law, technology is playing a role too through automation, which seems poised to send even more wealth up to those with the current means to develop and deploy new wave automation. Neighborhoods full of kids. I think the 90s were peak. YouTube. Except YouTube infotainment channels. Those are better than ever in terms of production quality. MSN Messenger, I miss it. Halloween trick or treating. I used to get anywhere from 25 to 50 kids to my door every year. Now I'm lucky if I see 10. People are not doing it anymore. I think people are, but your area probably aged out. Oftentimes it is very concentrated in neighborhoods that have lots of younger kids. If you live somewhere that people don't move often, then the kids get older and there aren't many left to do it in your area. In my neighborhood we easily get 150 plus kids each year. Fishing. We've killed so many fish, it's a fucking tragedy. By some estimates we've killed 90% of the world's shark population alone. Reading old books and running into offhand comments about fishing is depressing as hell. I love seafood, but we need like a decade-long commercial fishing hiatus followed by much stricter limits and better regulations. There are a bunch of really dumb rules right now. Bycatch is wasted, for example. Let's get by on sport caught and farmed seafood for a while and let the fishes come back. Fishing now is nothing whatever like it was even 50 years ago. A century ago it was like another planet. And this is coming from a kiteboarder, somebody to whom sharks are a genuine threat. Toilets. Either make them all flush automatically or make them where you have to push the handle down. If it's one of those automatic ones, please make it smart enough to not flush while I'm just sitting down or mid-shit. I like to wipe down the toilet seat before I sit on it and throw that toilet paper in the water to avoid any splashbacks up my asshole. Half the time it doesn't work because the toilet will just flush before I even sit down. And fix the bathroom stalls. No one should be able to make eye contact with me through the crack of the door as they walk in and I'm in the stall talking a dump. I am so convinced that any automatic device in a bathroom makes it worse. Automatic toilets? Awful. Always splash you and flush too early or refuse to flush. Automatic sinks? Terrible. I can never get the damn things to work for more than 2 seconds with my hands under them. Automatic soap? Always ambushes me and gets on my arm. That, or it spurts in the counter. Automatic paper towels? Forget trying to get more than a singular paper towel. Wave your hand in front of the damn thing for 2 minutes. To sum up a lot of these answers, technology is spying on us. The government is spying on us. Marketers are spying on us. We can't tell good information from bad information. Bad information crowds out good information. Adblock prevents good information from having funding. There is no more good source of information. The information that gets funded is information with an agenda. Our political discourse is fueled mostly by misinformation campaigns. We're still too stupid and lazy to do anything about it. Global warming, economic collapse, nuclear winter is going to kill us all, and we'll all be too distracted to do anything about it. Cars. I'm fascinated with all the creative features of cars from the 50s, 60s. They used to be fun, colorful and distinctive. Sure, there were some wacky designs too, but at least they tried. Now it's all the same boring shapes and colors, nothing really stands out, and it makes me so mad. American manufacturing. True. During my dad's time you could get a factory job, raise a family on a single income, buy a house and retire comfortably after 30 years service. Greater than raise a family on a single income. This part in particular is so alien to me now. On an unskilled entry-level salary, just covering the living costs of two people on one income is unrealistic now, even before considering buying a home, running a car, having kids, etc. Information. You got to study any number of subjects just to watch the news without being gassed up. The same thing applies in spades to social media. It's everywhere, like Wikipedia and any random Google search. Gig economy. There was a brief moment when Airbnb and Uber was cheap, unique and awesome. Greater than Uber, it was pretty glorious being able to drink with friends and get a ride home for like $8. So expensive now, I don't know how people can afford to go out frequently. The internet. IRC is pretty much dead, privacy is gone, censorship is popular, and the memes are shit compared to 2006. We went from an amazing Wild West, with lots of interesting niche communities, to boring, safe and corporate in less than 20 years. I really miss the chaos and unpredictability of the early to late 2000s internet. Original movies. It seems like everything is a remake or sequel now. Mainstream film. Thanks to streaming services, studios can't count on physical media sales anymore, so now they have to make everything back at the box office. As a result, investors are seeing new or experimental ideas as an unnecessarily risky venture, so they refuse to fund them. Effectively, innovation is punished while conformity is rewarded, hence why movies don't seem as good as they were in the 70s, 80s, and 90s, and everything is a sequel or remake. Architecture. At least not here in the UK. We seem to be obsessed with making loads of shitty carbon copy houses that haven't in the slightest got any character. Bring back locally sourced materials in good community layouts, not this cul-de-sac bollocks. The internet from 1998 to 2012 was fucking amazing, abso-fucking-lutely amazing. These days it's a straight-up shithole for people to make their opinions known, as I am now, adding to the garbage. Forums were king, old people didn't know how to use it or even care about access, the vulnerabilities were endless, God I miss it. Celebrities didn't have a platform to abuse, ads were something you'd see but far from anywhere they are today. The internet just sucks doo-doo from a fat corpse's butthole now, as it's primarily a platform for social media. It's monitored like it has never been before, and far from the free and open frontier it once was. I can still do what I want, but goddamn is it less fun, interesting, it's just a guided tour of a landfill now. And don't forget to observe the targeted ads on your way out. Prosperity. There is so much wealth hoarding and machines in place to redirect resources to a few select people that the middle class is going to eventually shrink to a minority. It still blows my mind that nearly 70% of all wealth in the US is owned by 10% of the people. The bottom 50% only possess 3% of all the wealth. That 27% of wealth left over, that's what everyone is trying to buy: a house for a family of 4, 2 cars, fund education, medical care, and an annual vacation with. Can't afford that stuff anymore? There's a reason. This is why tax laws are so important. I know people say, the rich pay the majority of taxes. Well, they're not taxed nearly enough, and it's an illusion to think they are. During America's most prosperous time, 1950s to 60s, the tax rate for high-income earners was 91%. This encouraged business owners to redistribute income to workers' pay, benefits, pensions, infrastructure, and built the middle class. Today the max tax rate is around 43%, there's so many loopholes it's realistically around 24%, and any profits go into the stock market to auto-generate more wealth to benefit a single person. Rock and roll. That's come and gone. China tea sets. Same goes for Persian carpets and antique furniture. It used to be something that retained its value and could be passed on for generations. Now it's out of fashion and worth shit. My grandma had a small fortune worth of stuff in her house. Some Persian carpets had costed $50, and that was in 1970, 80s money. They went straight to the trash after she died. Even auctioning them off wasn't worth the effort. Social media, internet challenges, they used to be silly and for fundraising, but now it's about stealing cars and other ways to fuck with people's days. The golden age of social media was in its ability to create community. There was something magical about seeing our parents find a friend from HS and reignite that friendship, or to follow an ex-classmate's journey from afar without the need to directly keep in touch. Now it's just been weaponized for propaganda or over-promoted for clicks and influencers. House ownership. Respectful debate. Differing views discussing opinions and stances. Now it's extremes of everything clashing and refusing to converse in any way.